Okay, cool. Today we have the new album from Ariana Grande, her first album since lockdown 2020. It's been like 4 years. This one's called Eternal Sunshine. I did enjoy a handful of tracks from Positions, although I thought Thank You Next is a much stronger album just as a whole. But let's get straight into it. Ariana Grande, Eternal Sunshine. First track is intro brackets End of the World.
How can I tell if I'm in the right relationship? Aren't you really supposed to know that shit? Feel it in your bones and own that shit. Wonder if he's judging me like I am right now. I don't care. I'd rather tell the truth.
The vocal layering is always on point. The lyrics already are making sense as to why the album's called Eternal Sunshine. If you haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, please do, because it's one of the best films ever fucking made.
And if it all ended tomorrow, would you be the one?
That's literally like the premise of the film. Very atmospheric, moody opening. I'm not sure what the sound of this album is going to be, because Yes and was a very, up-tempo, clubby dance song. I don't know if that's going to be the entirety of the album, or we're going to get a mishmash of different genres, but we'll see. Anyway, next song is Bye. What fucking 1970s disco strings. What the fuck? I was not expecting this sound at all. Yeah, this is very 1970s. Catch already. I fuck with it. Oh, key change. Where the fuck did this sound come from? This feels like fucking like off the wall. Heat, fire. I fuck with it. Very heavy. Loved it. Love the 1970s vibe. It felt like those like late 90s, early 2000s movie where like someone's like dancing in the rain after like this big relief. I don't know why that specific image is in my mind. As usual, Ariana Grande's vocals are on point, almost like precision perfect. But I haven't, again, I'm not like the biggest Ariana Grande stan or anything, so there's a lot of her back catalogue I haven't heard, but I've never heard an Ariana Grande song like that before. Next one is Don't Want to Break Up Again. Watery synths. Ooh! So, is this a theme of the album? Because, it's called Eternal Sunshine, and a lot of it seems very, only 3 tracks in, reflective and introspective, looking back on the past, maybe in a bittersweet way. Is that why so many of these sounds are vintage and retro? Maybe, but I'm here for it. I'm fully here for it. Oh. This is fire. Another key change. Yeah, this feels like a very early 2000s kind of song. That bass as well is fucking tasty. Heat. Very vintage. All 3 songs, like it already sounds like, each song is like part of a bigger structure and a bigger narrative. But sonically, it's fucking Be Real time. It feels just rich and lavish as well. And very bittersweet, which is, that's maybe the one aspect of the album I was kind of expecting. Next one is Saturn Returns Interlude.
When we're all born, Saturn's somewhere. And the Saturn cycle takes around about 29 years.
Oh. That sounded like it was going straight into the next song. We'll just go straight to the next song, which is the title track, Eternal Sunshine. I'm going to play it from the end of Saturn's Return interlude. Yeah. Ooh.
I don't care what people say. We both know I couldn't change you. I guess you could say the same.
I am so in.
Someone like you do.
There's something about the cadences that she's able to, I don't know where she comes up with it, but like her cadences, not just her voice, it just like, it sticks in your head so fucking instantly.
Now she's in my face. You're just now I'm in my head, wondering how it ends. Now you got me feeling sorry. I showed you all my demons, all my lies. Hope you feel alright when you're in high.
I love the contrast, like the soup, like the very clearly trapped drums and her like very silky smooth delivery. I kind of jinxed it because I was going on about all these vintage sounds, and then she comes through with this just like overt trap instrumental. Again, super moody, very down tempo. Seems to be particularly confessional and vulnerable as well. Like more so even than, you know, even though like Thank You Next was a very personal album, this seems like a step above that in terms of how open book she's being. Next one is Supernatural.
Don't want nobody else around me. Just need you right here. You're like the only thing that I see. It's like supernatural.
Oh, we're getting key changes in every song. I don't know, it feels like a driving song, like a summer driving song. Next one is True Story.
This is a true story about all the lies you fantasize. Love, 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 give me love.
I don't know how many vocal tracks are on there.
Love, love, love. I'll play the villain if you need me to. And know how this goes.
Again, this is like some early 2000s R&B type shit. Tee. I mean, out of all the ones so far, you know, I'm not particularly clued in as to, I haven't been following, you know, all the things on social media regarding Ariana Grande's personal life and stuff. I don't really know, you know, I haven't been keeping up on that, but that sounded like the most direct response to all the things I've seen flying around Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and all these things. Next one is a very interesting one because it's called The Boy Is Mine, you know, one of the best R&B songs of all time. I don't know if it's a cover, an interpolation, or just like a reference. I don't know, so. Do you see what I mean about the cadences? That's funny. The Boy Is Mine, I can't wait to try him. Do you know what she sounds like a bit here? She sounds like Sierra on Goodies. That cadence is crazy. That's crazy. catchy as hell, so much swagger, so much confidence, but the cadences, the flows, like I'm talking about it as if she's like a rapper. I would imagine that might be one of the singles, maybe at some point, because that's the kind of song I can imagine already like popping off on TikTok or something. That was fire. The next song is Yes And, which I've heard a few times and which I do really enjoy. I'm just going to play a bit of it and move on to the next song. It's a very different vibe to the rest of the album. The rest of the album is like quite vintage, like old school R&B with a bit of hip hop influence as well. This is just like a straight up club song. Yes, and say that shit with your chest. As much as I still do really enjoy that song, I do like it when like the lead single from an album like sounds nothing like the rest of the album, like kind of that like bait and switch. Because there is nothing on this album that sounds remotely like Yes And. I guess to some people it could stick out like a sore thumb, I guess, but it's still a good song, so I don't mind. Next song is We Can't Be Friends, brackets, Wait For Your Love.
How could you ever even try?
Nice. This feels like a Robin song. Am I going crazy? This feels like Robin. I keep dancing on my own. I guess okay. So I mean that. I guess following on from Yes And, it kind of makes sense. But it's just kind of like a more muted version. And again, very 80s. I felt like she was maybe trying to have a Beyonce on mute moment.
You got me misunderstood, but at least I look this good.
Bars.
We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend.
Oh, she changed it.
You cling to your pay, wait for your love.
It's kind of like trance-inducing, like I'm liking this song the more it plays. I think maybe the most ethereal and dreamlike so far, which is fitting for an album called Eternal Sunshine, of course. Next one is I Wish I Hated You. This feels like 2003 GameCube. I wish I hated you. I wish there was worse to you. Do you know that's I think that's probably an extremely relatable thing when you've gone through a breakup of any kind of any sorts, and it would be a lot easier if you just flat out hated that person. Be like, fuck this person, you're a cunt, blah blah blah, bye. Thank you next, effectively. But humans aren't like that, and I guess you can feel guilty for a bit of, you know, wishing that you hated someone even though they might not deserve that hate, just because it would be easier for you. But, you know, that's part of, I guess, you know, grief or breakup grief or anything like that. It's a completely natural thing. And yeah, a very, very human emotion.
Wish that weren't true. Wish there was worse to you. I wish you were worse to me. Yeah, I wish I hated you.
You know, a lot of these songs are existing in the grey areas, the nooks and crannies of heartbreak and breakups and stuff, and the things that you don't really want to address, like, you know, wishing that, you know, someone that you've left behind was worse to you, so it would make your process of getting over them easier. Like, that's that kind of weird thing that you don't tend to discuss, but kind of everyone feels it in some way or another. Penultimate song is Imperfect for You.
They don't understand, but I'll hold your heart in the box here beside me. And usually I'm fucked up, anxious, too much in
Nice.
How did we know that this was a happy disaster? Me too, imperfect fire.
I love that. I love it. Jesus Christ. She goes imperfect for you, and it's like the wrong note. That was. I love little shit like that. She said imperfect for you, and as she sings imperfect for you, it's the wrong note. Like it should. I think it might be like in the wrong key or something, but that's fire. Fire. That's fire. It's so subtle, but I love shit like that. And she makes it work as well. I love stuff like that. And it kind of feels like it's like wrapped up the bulk through line throughout the album of like accepting, you know, being imperfect and leaving baggage at the door and letting go and being free. But like the standout for me for that song is just that little the imperfect note. I love creative shit like that. Final song of the album is Ordinary Things featuring Nonna, grandma in Italian. No ordinary thing. God almighty. New York, Forgive my American accent.
You're in the wrong place.
You're in the wrong place. Hey. You're in the wrong place, eh? Hey, big whoop, you want to fight about it? Okay, Eternal Sunshine. Wasn't sure what to expect sonically. All I was expecting was like a bittersweet thematically album, which is what we got. I would say a lot more introspective and vulnerable, especially in comparison to Positions. Position was it did feel like Ariana just kind of like having fun, like with songs like 34, 35 and things like that. And I think every artist like needs that album where they could just have a bit of fun, really. But this was open book, effectively like reading a diary. The first few tracks indicated to me that it would be like this super retro disco 80s inspired kind of thing, and then we got some R&B, some 2000s inspiration, some trap instrumentals in there as well, and even some 80s synth pop stuff. So there's a bit of everything in here, but it doesn't feel clunky or messy or incoherent. It all of the sounds fit the theme of that particular song and what it needs. Does it make sense for what the song demands or what the theme demands? And I think it did for the majority of the album, in my opinion. Vocals, of course, always on point. Never going to question. I know Ariana's been even more involved in the production side of this album as well, and you know, as a vocalist and a vocal arranger, and clearly a producer as well, someone who knows her sound and knows what she wants. She is incredibly talented and a lot more versatile than I think people give her credit for as well. But yeah, a lot of standout songs on there, a lot that I'm going to be going back to for sure. Those are my thoughts on this new Ariana Grande album. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Make sure to like, alright, on the bell, and I'll see you next time.